Good morning, welcome to Terra at Home. We're in beautiful Niagara on the lake this morning with heritage perennials, and we brought Colleen Zimmerman from Terra with us this morning. Nice spot to be.
Oh, it's beautiful out here today.
Warm and toasty, but we're loving it. We're loving it. So we want to talk a little bit about why we're here right off the top.
Yes, as buyer of perennials and nursery stock at Terra, we like to do a lot of things locally. So this is one of the local growers that we buy from on a regular basis.
Nice.
So we get lots of perennials from them, lots of color, and just love to share it with you today.
And that's great. That's what it's nice to kind of venture out and to see what else is brought into Terra from our friends from around the community. So we're talking a little bit about textures today as well, right? And I like that you're incorporating a little bit of blue.
Yes.
So where do we want to start?
Well, texture is very important in the garden, not only when you're talking annuals, but also perennials and shrubs. So with the various varieties of perennials that we have here, you can see using larger leaves as well as some grassy foliage like this, and using some smaller leaves and just the different textures of the leaves themselves.
Right.
And blue has been a very popular color in the past few years, and especially this year with the different shades of blues and purples. And they just glow, especially in the evenings with the moonlight and lower light levels. It looks amazing.
Yeah. So that's the thing. It really makes a difference. And until you see it done, some people, you know, they're stuck in sort of a rut sometimes with their gardening, their planting. And until you kind of exposed to different textures and you realize, oh, that actually really works. That does make a difference.
And it's not to say too, because there's so many different textures with the blues and the purples, you don't necessarily have to count on flower color either. You can use ferns and heucheras, which are also known as the coral bells.
Right.
So they have like a nice large leaf, comes in tons of different colors. And then just by using those two together, you can get an amazing result, as well as with the hostas too, with large leaves.
And that's the thing with hostas, I mean, you're open to so many varieties, so you could really have fun with that.
Yes, like the one that's sitting beside you.
Yes.
That one's called Night Before Christmas, and that's from my orange garden. I've had that in the pot probably for about 4 years now.
Oh, really? I love that one. That one, Night Before Christmas. That's hilarious. Go figure.
You can have lots of fun with the names of the plants too, and you can have a whole theme on your front porch just using the different names of the plants.
Yeah. And
then combine, you know, just solid plants, like one plant per pot, and then you can also do a mixture of plants here too that can combine the different textures.
Well, that's right. So if you look at this pot here, you can see that, and we were just talking about this before we opened the show. You're saying this is sort of a mop-style grass in the way it's going to pull down.
Yep, this is a carex, and if it's in the landscape, it's just kind of a nice low ground cover type grass, but in a pot, it's really nice to cascade over. And with the variegation, it just gives that little bit of light up, and especially with blues, we've paired it with this Anook lavender.
That's pretty.
And so you also get some fragrance as well as the contrast in the leaves. And just by using those two together, you kind of get a really nice texture and the contrast in the colors.
That's right. So again, also as you say, just color, even colors of leaves, even if you're not incorporating color from flower petals, you're still getting it from the leaves. And you know, we were talking, not everybody loves grasses. You either kind of love them or you hate them. And I think they're fabulous. And we were saying how much they really do make a difference by potting them. They don't have to be just planted right into your ground.
Exactly. And again, I've said this before, but no matter whether you have a balcony or whether you have like a full-fledged gigantic garden, you can still have room for plants. And you can still have perennials, you can still have shrubs in your garden.
Okay, that makes sense. And of course, you know, as we've mentioned along the way before as well, it's about getting the variation in heights as well. So you want to have something nice and low that'll fill here, but get some height. And again, that helps with helps when you're using textures as well to show them off.
Yep, same principles that you use when you're choosing your annuals. You want to choose that with your perennials too, and you can combine both the annuals and the perennials. So with this one here, you have some height with this purple coneflower. This one's called Powwow Wildberry. And you can combine that with your lavenders and your grasses. So you have your height, this is kind of like your filler, and this one kind of spills out the side. And then you've got some more filler with the kind of a fern texture with this.
That's pretty here. I like that. Now, I also, I guess sometimes along the way you have to consider as you're moving from season. So as you're moving from summer into fall, some of these will change a little bit, right?
Yes.
So you are still getting color, but the color will change. So you might want to keep that in mind.
Exactly. So that's why using different types of perennials, if you were going with perennials in containers, as well as in your garden, you want to choose things that bloom at different time periods. So things like the lavender blooms midsummer. Usually the purple coneflower blooms mid to late summer. And then you also want to combine things like your grasses, like your heucheras here, sedums, hostas, because you don't have to count on the flower color in order to get interest. You get color from the leaves and the textures of the plant itself.
Okay, and that's going to at least stay consistent for you while some things are slightly dormant.
Yes.
Right? Let's talk about this pot way over here on the other side of me, because this is actually beautiful. And again, it's not using flower color.
Exactly.
It's just, again, beautiful textures. Love how, what is this little guy here?
That is actually a hookah or a coral bell. And
oh, I see. That's coming right from,
yes.
oh my gosh, that is gorgeous.
So they do flower, and it's just very airy, very light.
Oh, I love it.
But you can see with that one, you're not counting on any flower color. You've got the texture of the ferns, you've got the heucheras, there's a few different varieties in there. So you can get heucheras that have kind of a silvery sheen to them, as well as the green-leafed heucheras. And then they kind of trail out of the side of the pot too once they get larger and fill out.
Now something like this, I mean, as you move through the season, as you get into the fall, and then once the season's over, what is done with this?
Usually, like if you have a garage, you can just pull them into the garage. That's
Yep.
what I do with all my perennial planters. Just pull them into the garage and just kind of leave them there. Give them a water before you put them to bed.
Okay.
And then if you have a patio or you don't have a garage, you can just pull them up towards the house, cover them with some old blankets just to insulate them a bit, and then they should overwinter fine that way.
Really? Because I find I've always wanted to do that, and a lot of times people, it just looks so dead. It looks so done. But it's hard to imagine that it's going to actually come back to life again.
Yeah, like hostas, like I said, the one hosta beside you is like at least 4 years old. I take it out and split it once in a while.
I love it.
And hostas are really great in containers, and there's even like little teeny tiny hostas. This is called a teacup hosta.
Oh, that's a hosta too.
Yeah, and that's about as big as it gets.
Really?
So that one's a really good one too. If you had like a strawberry jar, then you can put like a whole bunch of them like in the little holes of the strawberry jar.
Oh, come on, that's way too cute.
Yeah, so you can do like
really,
like you can do different, like tons of different types of planters. And what you want to do is choose hardier things. So if you're looking at your hardiness zones, you want to choose a couple hardiness zones lower than what you are.
Okay.
So if something's about hardy to 3 or 4 is usually the best, and then they'll have the best chance of surviving over the winter.
Okay.
So most of the things that I've shown here, like the sedums and the heucheras and the hostas, they are extremely hardy. Grasses are really, really great. And then when we're talking about the blue combinations too, this one here is a delphinium.
I like
so
that, yeah.
like that gets that really vivid blue, and if you want to accent too, what looks really good with the blues are some of the oranges and the hot pinks. And
yes, so that's what getting in back in here, and that's right. Those really do,
and they just
so
pop right
great.
off the blue.
And that's nice again as the sun's going down,
Yes.
and we have these nice long days right now, and it just makes for a beautiful environment. So again, there are so many options, and you don't have to have all the experience in the world. You know, you can just go to Terra and you can just ask lots of questions, and you guys know. And you know what? Again, you don't have to start at the beginning of the season. As you're making your way through the season, be adventurous and you know, drop by the greenhouses and see what you can do. Right? Just experiment.
There's something always in color, so you can always add to your garden.
Again, and there you go. And again, just kind of learning along the way how many different again variations just in hosta alone. You can have a party. I have these big giant ones in my backyard, or as you say, you can get into the little teacup ones.
Yeah,
so
every size.
Lots of good options. Well, thanks, Colleen. And I want to thank all the folks again from Heritage Perennials as well. It's kind of fun to escape and come down to the Niagara region. It's so beautiful. Yes, it's hot, but it's so wonderful to be here in the summertime. So that's it for now. We'll be back with more Terra at Home.
Live color fully at Terra, where color lives.
Heritage Perennials presents Terra's Perennial Pick of the Week. Lavender Munstead, with its compact, fragrant foliage, is extremely drought tolerant, ideal for the herb garden and flower beds alike. Heritage Perennials. Look for us in the blue pots.
Welcome back to Terra at Home. We are now down in Jordan, beautiful Niagara country here. I'm here with the founder of the Upper Canada Cheese Company.
Upper Canada Cheese, yes.
Yeah, thank you so much for letting us into your space today. This is kind of fun to be here. I think we all have a deep love for cheese, but I think your story is interesting in how you got started into all of this. So tell me a little bit about that.
Well, we have a deep love for food. I guess I was lucky we're into all this local now. In reality, I've known it for 50 years because I grew up on a farm just a couple miles from here. So we've always had local stuff. I grew up liking to cook. I've made wine forever, and about 10 years ago, I was dating a woman in Quebec, and she kept taking me out to all these farms where they made cheese. So as we made, I just got interested.
Sure.
The cheeses were great.
Well, that's the thing. You're floating around Quebec. It's just cheese aplenty, right?
So I decided I needed another new hobby, and as I started making cheese in my kitchen Sunday mornings, my wine clubs and friends wouldn't let me come to any function without bringing cheese, and put together a business plan.
Wow. So they're saying, okay, this stuff is good. And now from when you finally came to that first cheese you knew tasted good, it was awesome. Is that in this store right now?
Actually, I originally started making what is now Niagara Gold. It's a bloomy rind, or not a bloomy rind, it's a washed rind cheese. And I started making Brie Camembert style. And so we were really lucky in the respects that there's a herd of Guernsey cattle just above Vineland, only a few miles from here. And the Guernsey milk is just gorgeous to work with. When you look at these cheeses, the color is all natural. The Guernsey milk is very high in beta carotene. There are only 3 full milking herds left in Ontario, and one is just up here, and they pasture them, so they're grass-fed, they're grain-fed, all the right things.
All the right things. It just made sense, right, for you.
It just fell into place. And so the product has been good from day one. I wanted to, keep it to just a couple of key products that were really good and get them to be, well known. And we also...
And you have achieved that.
We're achieving that, yes, we are.
Yeah, absolutely. So a lot of people are very familiar with the Niagara Gold,
but we had to make
the comfort
specialty
cream.
cheeses that we could get higher price points for, because as much as they're handmade, and it's really a small operation. I mean, we had to put in a receiving bay to take a transport truck. We had to put in washing facilities to do that transport truck.
So all of a sudden,
$100,000 to
this little creation in your
minutes
kitchen turns into quite the process.
Quite.
But you're still having fun with it.
It has been some stress, but we have fun with it also. I get to meet great people.
That's the thing, right? That's what's great. So we're located here on, the main strip going into Jordan. But that's another day. That's another day, another story. People come in here. It's a great kind of a sort of an attraction at this point. A lot of people they've heard of it. And so now you can come into the store, and the main store is such a great little shop. All kinds of things to experience. I love you have great, friendly staff, and you get to taste before you purchase.
Yes. Right? Yep. No, that's pretty standard things,
nice,
I think, but it is nice, and it is becoming a destination, and the whole thing worked out. There happened to be a farm for sale right here, and I liked this location. Designed the building to look a bit like an old railway station because we're next to the railroad tracks, and in reality the railroads moved milk to the creameries originally, as the first creameries were set up. And I kept debating, should I, build it as far from the tracks as possible, and one morning I woke up and make it look like a railway station and build it as close to the tracks, because that's part of our history.
Well, that's the thing, and it's kind of it's just so fitting, right? So, I mean, people coming in, is Niagara Gold your #1 seller?
Niagara Gold is the flagship. Yes.
Okay. So describe the flavor, the type of cheese it is.
Well, it's a washed rind cheese, so it's a semi. Hard cheese. The rind actually develops the flavor and works towards the inside, so it takes 3 or 4 months to really develop the flavor of it. But Oka, Saint-Pelin, French style cheeses is what they really are. Yeah.
Now the comfort cream, of course, is another favorite for many people, and that goes well with accompaniments, right? You can do a lot with that for entertaining.
Does a lot of things. I mean, straight up it's great, but I love to cook with it. I'll take some onions and some maple syrup and just reduce them in a frying pan.
That's awesome.
Put them on top, a couple of cranberries to dress it up color-wise.
Oh, wow.
And they get soft. They don't go to oil, and they don't run out.
That's a good point.
Because we've got all natural products. We're very high in just protein. It's just a great milk to work with.
It's a good one. Yeah.
They're absolutely delicious. The only problem is I can eat one by myself.
But you must go to the gym.
But actually, I've been doing this for 10 years now, and I probably eat at least half of, you know, this amount of cheese every day for the last 10 years.
Really?
And my health, I'm lucky, I guess, but everything's right down the middle. My cholesterol is perfect.
Well, go figure that, right?
I've put on a little weight, but I
it's all part of the
haven't been going to the gym as much as I have.
Well, we overheard that. I mean, you kind of add sort of, you know, add to the collection that you have here. But we heard maple smoked comfort cream. That's available too.
We are experimenting with smoking some cheeses, and the maple smoke seems to, you know, really work well.
Sounds good.
And it's available. Part of the thing is that I mean, in my smoker at home, I got a smoker. I use apple wood, but it
nice.
wouldn't be readily available to, you know, do it on any kind of scale.
A mass amount, yeah. Another kind of one of other cheeses you're experimenting with, a goat cheese?
We've been experimenting with some goat cheese. We brought in some goat, again, single herd last year, and the Royal Winter Fair, we won Best of Show for one of those cheeses from the goat. I mean,
great.
These consistently now, you know, win the U.S. Big show last year. We picked up second and third in all three categories that we entered. So they've got hundreds of entries, though. I mean, 1,200.
But that's great. That is really good.
You know,
and I think
not
the big
winning
story
first
behind
is not a real issue.
Well, yeah, no, it wouldn't be. But I think that's an amazing thing. I mean, and I guess the big story is it's all local, and it's pure,
local.
It's natural.
Actually, we got lucky on that whole local thing because 10 years ago it wasn't, you know, vocabulary. 6 years ago, 5 years ago, and today it is. Yeah. So it's really working to our favor because we're really only 27 miles from Toronto.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's close, and we're trying to. The Toronto people never come this way. We're trying to get them to come this way because this is the place to be. I mean, coming down to the Niagara region, they're starting to slowly.
They do come this way a lot, you know, with the wineries and things. There's a lot of Toronto traffic, and we are becoming a destination.
Perfect. Well, thank you. Thank you for letting us again come in here, and again, all this wonderful cheese. Great place to try. It's open 7 days a week, and a lovely experience, especially in the summertime. All right, that's it for Terra at Home. We'll be back with more after this quick break.
Come and explore the new Terra, where color lives.
You've sat under them and built forts in them. You've swung from them and fell out of them. You've even fallen in love under them. Trees have always held a special place in our hearts and memories. A natural beauty, trees will grow with you and your family and bring color and nature into your world. For your assurance of quality, look for trees and shrubs with the Medallion plant tag. Medallion Plans, locally grown, the pride of Niagara.
AM 900 CHML is giving you more news when you want it most. Non-stop news weekday mornings 5 till 9, weekday afternoons 3 to 6, with weather and traffic on the 9s. Hear about it first from AM 900 CHML, Hamilton's news talk leader.
Welcome back to Terra at Home. We're back at the Good Earth Food and Wine Co. And last time we were talking wine, this time we're talking food. And look who we have here.
This guy.
Chef Michael Pastos. Now, you were on the show way back when at the homestead of Terra. So we decided to come down and invade your space. And you allowed us to do so, which is cool.
Right.
Now, we've taken you a bit out of your element and put you in front with us. So you have to somewhat awkwardly make a pizza for us doing it like this. This is the talent.
Yes. My hands behind my back. Yeah.
It's your third arm.
Yes, that's right.
So I guess the one big thing, we should talk about this entire place is beautiful, right? It's gorgeous. We're here on a beautiful day, and there's people outside enjoying their lunch. I mean, this is, you can't get much better than this.
I don't think so. Not even Europe you can get this, I don't think. It's gorgeous. It's healthy. It's a great environment. Yeah. And it's weekends were busy, it's hopping. I love it. It's a fantastic place.
And that's the great part. You know, people are really, you know, coming from all over the place to the Niagara region now, recognizing you guys are right off the highway, easy to find in Beamsville, and really is an experience now that, you know, you can do wine tastings and purchase wine, and then of course you can sit down and enjoy food and wine together.
The fruits of our labor.
Ah,
right?
see, how great
like
is this?
the Italian fruits of our labor, yes.
So you must love this time of year to be out here, the restaurant's open, and you're doing your thing.
Our outdoor
right?
kitchen's open.
Yeah.
Pizza oven, as
Pizza
you can
oven.
see.
I mean,
it's fabulous.
I mean, this is pretty awesome. So let's talk a little bit about your menu. Some of the features, the things that you like to produce with your fellow
and when
teammates.
we get an order, you can hear it. See that?
Yeah, see, I love it. It's a working kitchen.
It is, right? It is. Well, we're just changing up the menu. We have a tartine, which is an open-faced sandwich, and that changes daily. We have a blackboard sandwich, or a salad, sorry.
Yeah.
And you know, so today's with quinoa and grilled salmon. The lovely vinaigrette. You know,
Nice.
it's always healthy. It's always local as possible.
Yeah, exactly.
We didn't fish the salmon. No.
Well, you
right?
didn't?
No, we didn't.
I
know.
This is what you do in the morning. You get up at 2, don't you?
Yeah, that's right. I do. But yeah, and our flatbreads out of the oven. Our snack menu starting this week, and
cool.
we extended our hours to. We were closing at 3:30 last year, so we're opening till 8 now.
Oh,
and extending our menu a little bit. Yeah, so it's.
And that's the nice thing, right? So people are able to, you know, do their wine tours, travel around, and again, this is all part of the experience. So you're coming in and to be able to sit down with friends, family, you know, hey, I would do business from here, have a business meeting here.
Yeah, exactly.
Right,
exactly.
but really, just an opportunity to taste some good, as you say, local as much as possible. You must love, you know, as we start to move through the summer and all the local foods are really coming in, right? I mean, and again, this is a working farm too.
Right,
so
absolutely. Fruit trees are right behind us, and our garden's right here to the left, all our herbs.
Yeah, so you're growing all that stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
So your typical day is how long?
It's starting, well, the summer's starting, so my typical day is around, 10, 12 hours, depending on the day.
Unbelievable.
Yeah,
wow.
It's good.
Yeah. Okay, so we're making pizza.
Ready to make it?
Right? Yeah.
I have the dough made already.
Right.
Which is, of course, 00 flour, a little olive oil, some yeast, pinch of salt, warm water, kneaded. And I'm going to make the sauce.
Okay, let's do that.
I always make my dough a day ahead because, of course, the yeast should. You punch it down and let it sit. And so you know when you go to a pizza place and it's you eat the pizza and you're so stuffed because you're so full because the yeast is still
too
active. So a little tip.
So
I have great. Tomatoes, San Marzanos.
The San Marzanos are the best, and you come in a massive can. I love that.
Yeah,
they take up your entire kitchen.
Beautiful. Yeah, not mine, but maybe yours. Yeah, yours.
For sure. Yeah.
And I have garlic cloves. I'm just going to put in.
Okay.
I have fresh oregano from the garden.
Oh, beautiful.
Right?
The fresh herbs make all the difference, right?
Yeah, a little pinch of salt. Parmigiano.
Oh, of course.
Reggiano, of course. Right.
You say
in
that
there.
way better than I would. Being an Italian boy.
Being an Italian, yeah.
I guess so, huh?
Yes. And great olive oil from Italy, from the
good olive oil.
Region of Campobasso, where my dad's from.
Oh.
Yeah, right from my grandma's town.
Really?
Yeah,
oh,
it was
that's
fabulous.
So cool.
And I have I hope I don't get this on you.
From that shield.
Yeah, that's it. You just buzz this up.
Yeah, as I said, and this is not, again, your typical working environment, right?
That's right.
Out in front here like this, but...
we have shields and stuff to protect, right?
But, I mean, you can smell it, the sauce. I mean, that's obviously a very important component of a good pizza.
Absolutely.
Right?
And I don't cook my pizza sauce. Oddly enough, it cooks in the oven. But you're putting such a thin amount on the dough that's it. See, it's blitzed.
That's an interesting point. I wouldn't even have thought about that.
I'm going to put this in the plate right back here.
Yep. And away it goes.
And away it goes.
Someone else needs to clean that up.
Yeah. No, I'll clean it. I'm not like that.
You're not, no.
But it cooks right on the sauce. The sauce cooks on the pizza in the oven. So I'm going to grab my ladle. I'm sorry, Isa moved it. Can you pass that,
we need a ladle.
Blame it.
She's a trickster.
She is. Just a thin layer. On it, yeah. Move it around. And you can see all the herbs.
Wonderful.
You can see the cheese in it, right?
And then, of course, as you say, it's not going to be overcooked sauce.
Yeah,
it's just going to be nice fresh sauce.
Do you like goat cheese?
I do. I love goat cheese.
I'm going to put a little mozzarella, which I'm going to bring up front here.
Okay.
It's just a little bit, yeah.
Beautiful.
I don't put a lot of ingredients on our flatbreads. I call them flatbreads here because pizza, everybody thinks that a pizza is something that they're normally used to, and I feel like I can play a little bit with this, you know.
Yeah,
so
no, that makes sense.
And
kind of opens you up to.
Yeah. So if you know, if you want to throw figs on there, so a little goat's cheese from Quebec.
Wow. Yummy. So basically, do you kind of theme your pizzas each day? You sort of come up with something that's
we change it. Yeah, we change it daily.
Yeah. Or flatbreads.
Flatbreads. Yeah.
Yes, we'll call that.
You know,
that's awesome.
We'll throw this in the oven.
And that's the difference. The oven is going to make all the difference in the world because of the heat and, of course, the flavors that are going to come from that. Just
absolutely, it blisters up. The wood oven. We use a lot of our fruit trees from the farm from out here. That they cut them down and then dry them and.
So that makes a difference. What are we talking about heat in there, the intensity?
I'm going to say 600 degrees.
Wow,
yeah.
I'll cook it.
See, when I started here, I had a full afro. Then,
look what happened.
Look what happens, the oven.
We're going to put it in the oven. We're coming back to break, and we'll see what happens to my hair after that. We'll be back in 2.
Excellent.
Live color fully at Terra, where color lives.
You've sat under them and built forts in them. You've swung from them and fell out of them. You've even fallen in love under them. Trees have always held a special place in our hearts and memories. A natural beauty, trees will grow with you and your family and bring color and nature into your world. For your assurance of quality, look for trees and shrubs with the Medallion plant tag. Medallion Plans, locally grown, the pride of Niagara.
Welcome back to Terra at Home, and last time we were on that side of the kitchen. Now we're back in the kitchen.
On the right side?
On the right side,
absolutely.
And the pizza's ready. So
yeah, it's there.
It's been waiting on us, so we need to get them out.
You can
Beautiful
see it,
wood oven.
You can see it bubbling, right?
That's
the
awesome.
smell of the wood.
Yeah, that's great.
Right?
So now, final touches. So it doesn't just come out and serve it this way. You got a few things you got to do.
Absolutely. We always finish with a little bit more olive oil, just to drizzle around.
Okay.
Not too much.
That's nice though.
Right?
That smells good. That's great.
And I always put a little fleur de sel on it, which is the finest of the salts, right?
Absolutely.
Just a little bit.
And you've got that fresh tomato sauce, so that's going to just bring out the flavors.
And you
a
can
little
see
bit
it's
more,
all nice and cooked,
yeah,
right? The sauce is cooked.
It's good. I love it. Very nice.
Fantastic. I'm going to put a little bit of chive flowers on top.
Oh, that's interesting. I've never had pizza with flowers on it. You're creative.
I know. In touch with my feminine side.
It's very pretty.
Yes.
Oh, so summery.
Yeah.
So, that's the great part about this place is, of course, you can sit down, come here. I mean, you've got all different environments. You can sit in sun and shade, kind of a bar stool type environment.
Yep.
Of course, wine. What would you pair with this?
I think I'd go with our Cab Franc. Cab Franc is delicious. I think you'll have to try a glass right after this.
Oh, I think I will.
With this lovely pie.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I think it would pair up nicely. If you, even our medium dry Riesling would be nice as well.
Okay. Yeah, that would be great.
Yeah.
Now, one thing also, of course, it's a great place to visit, but you can also do these takeaway type picnic basket lunches.
Yeah, exactly. We do a movable feast, we call them, and we have 3 different ones to choose from, and they're usually for 2. Not usually, they always are for 2. A nice
unless you're really hungry
nice romantic
you're going out
lunch.
by yourself.
Yeah, that's right. Romantic lunch for 1. Yeah, it's you can eat them on our picnic tables back there. We put up the umbrellas, or you can be in the orchard.
Really?
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Bring a blanket, park yourself out somewhere. I love it. So again, just a really great environment to come, try their wine, try their food, come for lunch, and again, menu changing daily throughout the summer.
Yep.
And into the fall.
Yeah, into the fall.
Very
absolutely.
Nice. I love it.
Busy summer coming.
Yeah.
Come and visit.
Well, you know what? It's been fun hanging out with you. We appreciate it, and I can't wait to drink some of that wine you promised. Where is it?
I'll get it right now.
That's it for Terra at Home. We'll have more again next Saturday morning.